last 2 days, the Jammu Kashmir Appropriation Bill and also the Jammu Kashmir Appropriation Bill number 2, both relating to J&K's budget for the year. There has been an emphasis on the larger context of the budget being presented here, and also the need for the Legislative Assembly to actually discuss it so that there's representation on matters related to the budget, the taxation in particular. Whilst the points are very well taken, and I thank all the 24 members who have spoken with great interest in the activities which are being undertaken by the government in J&K, political activities and also the economic activities. The economic activities are there for everyone to see as much as the political activity in the context of the delimitation exercise which is going on is being undertaken with all the stakeholders actively engaging with the authorities. So with certainty and also with a sense of rapidity, both the economic and also the political activities are happening, and for everyone to not just see but also to participate. And therefore, in the context of post 370, Article 370, the concerns expressed by the honourable members and also the activities which are getting represented in the various budgetary allocations, where the context of the discussion and the content of the discussions as well. I thank again all the 24 members who participated in the discussion, and whilst I give an overall sense of what is happening through the budget, I also will address some of the concerns raised by the members which are on the political side of things. As one of our honourable members did happen to state, the discussion went on to talk about many other things which may be core to the political economic situation prevailing in the state, but it was relatively lesser on the budget and more on the other things. That's well taken as well. Sir, post 370, many of the members have referred to the fact that about 890 central laws have now become active in the state, and they've become applicable to J&K as well. Whilst it's been applicable as and when the law has been passed in the parliament, the entire country benefited from it, but J&K has started getting benefit of it post removal of 370. And many of the unjust and discriminatory laws have also been, at the state level, have also been removed. Through 250 state laws have been completely repealed, and 130 state laws have been modified. The various impediments which prevailed in the state for industrial development have also been removed, and the industrial promotion scheme of J&K given by Government of India has opened new doors for the development in J&K. I was happy to hear from both the MOS Home and also from MOS Parliamentary Affairs and Minority Affairs. Both speak on how even a delegation from the Gulf Cooperation countries are at the moment, even as we are discussing these issues, are in J&K looking at possibilities of increasing their investment propositions. So the activity and the pace at which the activities for bringing investment, greater job opportunities, and also providing the political representation is going on. Importantly, sir, all of us have over the decades spoken about Article 73, 73rd and the 73rd and 74th Amendment to the Parliament Constitution, and as a result of which most of us see how the third layer of our democracy is getting represented by people from all backgrounds at the panchayat level. However, this level of democracy going down to the roots of the system and to the level of the villages was not available in J&K. So it is only after removal of Article 370 and particularly now this implementation of the 73rd and 74th Amendment Act has been made effective, and that has created an environment through which you find that the three-tier democracy revolution is actually now happening. And for the first time, there are over 30,000 grassroots level elected members in J&K, which is made possible now after the removal of 370. Also, in the name of devolution, which should actually happen in most of the states, 27 functions have been transferred to the PRIs and 7 departments have been transferred to the urban local bodies. These are certain concrete developments post the removal of Article 370. So, looking at what is prevailing post the pandemic and after the availability of the vaccines, all states have undertaken measures to ensure that vaccines are available for all their citizens. And now that we are talking about J&K budget and J&K health situations and the provisions made for health in the budget, it's important here to record that 100% COVID vaccination of all the eligible population has been achieved in J&K, 100%. And to add to this, 2 500-bed hospitals, COVID hospitals, one each in Jammu and the other in Srinagar, have been established, and this has been done by the DRDO. Because of the sense of urgency with which the hospitals had to be made, the DRDO, the Defense Research Development Organization, was brought in, and they have created the 2 500-bed each capacity hospital in Jammu and in Srinagar. So even on the quick necessary steps which have to be taken for the sake of the pandemic have also been taken with complete participation and also reaching and saturating on the vaccine. So the sense of security about which many of the honorable members voiced their concern, I just want to very quickly recall the kind of developments which have happened in terms of disturbances to the law and order, terrorist activities, and its impact on the economy. In 2021, the kind of figures we've achieved, I want to show that there has been an overall decline in such activities which disturb peace. There's been a 33% drop in infiltration, 51 in 2020 versus 34 in 2021. So 33% drop in infiltration, 90% decrease in ceasefire violations, 937 in 2020 versus 98 in 2021. 61% decline in terrorism related incidents, where in 2020 we had 244, in 2021 we've had 229. 80% decline in abductions by terrorists. Again, abductions in 2020 were 10 and in 2021 are just 2. 33% decline again in number of police and security personnel who were martyred. 63 it was in 2020 versus 42 it was in 2021. And number of active terrorists from 222 on as of 1st January 2021 to a reduction and coming down to the figure of 188 in January 1st 2022. So there was no incident of weapon snatching in 2021 and even in 2022 as far as now. So if these are showing decline in those kind of activities which have troubled the J&K for a very long time, post Article 370 removal and in 2021 in particular, this is the statistics which I would like to place before this Honorable House. terrorists being neutralized, active terrorists being neutralized is also very important in this index on the basis of which we assess what prevails in J&K. 180 terrorists, 148 of them being locals and 32 being foreigners, including 44 top commanders were eliminated in 2021. They were completely eliminated. And about 38 terrorists, 28 of them locals and 10 of them foreigners, have been eliminated this year only up till now in total of 24 anti-terrorist operations. So that's the second level of data that I want to provide. The decline in those activities was the first. Second is neutralization of terrorists. And third, recruitment into terror ranks, which has also worried and bothered all of us about the youth in J&K. Is their recruitment increasing, or what is the situation on that? There's been a 16% decline, sir, in terror recruitment. 164 was it in 2020, and in 2021 it's come down to 138. About 24 youth who have joined terror ranks in 2022 so far, in comparison to 26 in corresponding period of 2021. And the last bit of data which is related to these activities is 89 terror modules were busted, leading to arrest of 670 over the ground active workers, which gave major blow to the terror ecosystem. So I just would want to place this to say, with these kind of containments very clearly happening, the environment for normalcy and also for attracting investments are happening. So one thing which is very important when very many members spoke about inclusion, are all the benefits reaching everybody, is the common man being included in the so-called announcement which are coming, were the words which very many honorable members spoke, and that is a genuine concern, and I would like to address it. Prior to the abrogation of Article 370, sir, several communities were denied benefits. They were not given the right to vote for their assembly, which is a very important right in a democracy. No permanent resident status was given to them. They were not eligible for government jobs, and they were not eligible for admission in professional colleges, and they could not own land. Who were these people? Displaced persons of Pakistan-occupied Jammu Kashmir and Cham. They were denied all this. They were not allowed to vote for the assembly prior to 370, removal, no permanent resident status, and they were not eligible for government jobs, not even eligible to own a piece of land. So these were the realities of Jammu Kashmir before Article 370 was abrogated. So were the West Pakistani refugees, also denied these rights. And I did mention this once earlier, and it is worth mentioning here because many of us honestly and earnestly believe benefits must reach, and that was the constitution given by Dr. Ambedkar. Benefits must reach those sections which have been very much denied of so much of socio-economic developments and benefits. And post 1947, since 1950 January, that is what has been implemented in every part of the country, whereas that was denied in J&K. Valmikis and Safai Karmacharis have never received any of the benefits which rest of the country happily and rightly provides them. That was denied in J&K. So it is only after the abrogation of 370 these benefits have reached them. In fact, I can give you exact numbers. Displaced persons of Pakistan-occupied J&K and Cham, 41,684 families have been given the benefits. They have been given financial assistance of 5.50 lakh per family under the PMDP, the development program of 2015. Reservations in direct recruitment and admissions in various institutions for residents, particularly at the international border, who are mostly people from Pakistan-occupied J&K, and also from charmed regions have all been given these assistance, and their total, as I said a minute ago, is 41,684 families who did not have it any time before the abrogation. So are the West Pakistani refugees, sir. Again, for them, 5.50 lakh per family has been given as financial assistance, eligible for all the domicile certificates which they never had earlier. They are now eligible for government jobs and other benefits. And how many such families? 5,764 families, West Pakistani refugees, have been given these benefits. Sir, I did mention about the Valmikis and Safai Karmacharis. 2,840 domicile certificates have been issued so far to the Valmikis, and eligibility certificates for them being recipients of the domicile certificates. Thereby, we are opening doors for their appointment in government jobs and other facilities. Have all been extended. And I'm sure the August House will be very happy to know that if the deterrent all the while, all the 6 decades, all the while was the article, prevalence of Article 370, its abrogation has immediately brought these benefits to all these people, and that is what I'm sure will make the Parliament of India absolutely gratified about the fact that removal of Article 370 has actually meant benefit to those who so deserved it for so many years. Sir, specific questions related to some of the issues in the budget were raised. Broadly, the question was, how is it that the revenue expenditure decreased, particularly for very many important activities, public works or public health engineering department and so on? I just want to highlight the fact, as a part of the administrative reforms which have been undertaken in J&K, the hospitality department saw minus 4.72 decrease in revenue expenditure. Public Works Department saw a minus 8.76% decrease in their revenue expenditure. Public Health Engineering Department saw a minus 1.42%. But all these are part of an administrative expenditure and expenditure reforms which were undertaken. But the capital expenditure on these heads and on other heads as well have only increased and not decreased. And I'm sure members do understand that increasing on capital expenditure is far more constructive and productive, as it would go for building permanent assets, and decrease in revenue expenditure is a desirable norm, particularly because after a point the returns on every additional penny spent or every additional rupee spent on revenue expenditure is not going to be comparable with what you get from capital expenditure. So the capital expenditure increase has happened 282% in public health engineering. Disaster management and relief saw 390% increase. Irrigation and flood control saw 60% increase. Agriculture saw 26%. Industry saw 33%. Education saw 18%. And tourism saw 10%. Health education, of course, 13%, and culture 18%. So the decrease in capital budget in respect of health department is due to also I'm talking of the health department's capital expenditure in one head coming down, and that one head is the PMDP 2015 works. They've all been completed, and obviously, therefore, on that head, more could not be given. And COVID-related activities and 300 crores under the World Bank aided scheme are all come to a completion. So obviously, new provision this year couldn't have been made. And also in the Public Works Department, there is one head which saw a decrease in the capital allocation, and that is because GSY, the Gram Sadak Yojana, second phase has come to a conclusion. On that head, therefore, there will naturally be a decrease. So on the employment aspects, lots of members, many of them had voiced concern saying what exactly has been happening. The figure is not right. National average is one thing, J&K's average is more. concerns are well taken, sir. The new industrial policy actually of 28,400 crores will generate 4.50 lakh employment. 4,226 investment proposals. They are worth totally 47,441 crores are also planned to have 1,96,945 youth getting jobs. So these investments are very clearly worked out in such a way that employment for this many number of youth would happen. 20,323 posts referred to recruitment agency already. So for 20,323 jobs for the posts, recruitment process is ongoing. It's already been referred to the agency. Then 1,37,870 youth have been provided assistance under the various self-employment schemes and programs. So they not only are doing their own, but probably employing one or two more in their different self-employed ventures. So on handicrafts, particularly on handicrafts, quite a few members voiced concern saying J&K is very well known for handicrafts. The artisans are very well respected. Are we giving them something, or are they losing out on this transitional phase? Loan slabs for artisans and weavers have been enhanced from the existing 1 lakh to 2 lakhs. Under the artisan credit card system, 7% artisans have been given credit cards under this particular scheme, and in that 7% interest subvention is being provided to artisans availing facility, and that is a proposal in the current budget. So it's not as if it's been there, nobody picked up, or it is a proposal which this Honorable House will approve of. 7 crafts, including Pashmina. Yesterday I think it was member Vivek Tanka, who's unfortunately not here, and I must concede, I appreciate he came and told me that he wouldn't unfortunately be here once the announcement was made that I shall be replying today. It was a concern that the Honourable Member raised. Pashmina shawls and carpet making have been registered under the GI Act, meaning the geographical indices, which is identity, which is given to certain unique traditional crafts have been given for Pashmina and also for carpet weaving from J&K. So we are taking steps to make sure that the artisans, particularly traditional skills, are working out. In fact, if not part of the budget, not part of the mentions which have been here, but I'm aware that there is a step being taken to revive the very famous filigree silver work, which is very, very delicate and fine work of Kashmir. The filigree work is being restored in master craftsmen from Orissa, if I know right. Amar Patnaik ji will be very happy to know. Filigree experts from Orissa are also being co-opted so that the workers in J&K can benefit from their skills, and that entire filigree thing will get revived. Even this is happening. Sir, much was spoken about the identity of J&K, the symbols which stand for J&K's identity, which I respect. Dal Lake, what's happening to Wular Lake, and so on. Dal Lake in particular, it was a bit sad when members said, oh, it's in a downright bad state. If you go somewhere near it, you'll only have the stench of the lake rather than the fresh, Jammu Kashmir's fresh air. So the work undertaken on the Dal Lake specifically, I'd like to put on record here, sir. The western foreshore road along Dal Lake is to be constructed. Part of the funding is coming from the budget here. It will be constructed afresh. More indigenous lake cleaning machines to be procured. 1.5 square kilometer area to be cleared from what they call lily pads, but I think it is some kind of a weed which grows in the water. They're cleaning it, and During 22-23, 1.5 square kilometer additionally will be taken up for this cleaning. De-weeding and dredging to be conducted along with the shoreline of 1.5 square kilometer area during this fiscal, the coming 22-23. Dredging of acquired lands. Lands were acquired near the western side, if I understand right. Dredging of the acquired land of the lake for 60,000 square meters. 60,000 square meters in 22-23, which is to be converted into water bodies, freshly acquired, but they will become water bodies. In fact, many of the members of parliament who would have visited Dal Lake recently would know that it's far cleaner than what it was for ages, and it has to get cleaner even more. So, concern again was expressed about apples, which is the procurement, growing of more apples and orchards, not just apples but also apricots and very many. On that as well, the Agriculture and Horticulture Department has been working. Efforts are underway to double farmers' income. 8.93 lakh farmers are benefited by the distribution of hybrid seeds. 5,500 metric tons of CA storage, as they call it, added in a year, and further 50,000 metric ton of CA storage is to be added in 22-23. Market intervention schemes such as Parvas for providing subsidy on anti-hail, ओला जो पड़ता है सर, उसके लिए net introduced. There are anti-hail nets which are now available for horticulture farms. So that net has been introduced to prevent loss for fruit growers. And aside from fruit and horticulture, trout fish, which is a very famous fish there, trout fish production is being doubled from 1,400 metric tons to 2,800 metric tons. So in order that will be helping the local fishermen, the targets have been raised and equal activities are happening for improving the fishermen.